Well, there you go. So I left my Airbnb this morning just above Nice. Got embroiled in all sorts of heavy traffic because I did leave at 8:30, so that was probably the reason. So now I'm on the A8 autoroute heading west towards Sète. I'm going to Sète, really. Yeah, that's where I'm planning to get to. The traffic here is absolutely horrendous this morning. Normally autoroutes aren't so busy, but this one is absolutely rammed. And to make matters worse, I set off in 30 degrees, so cut all my clothing down, only to find I got here and it's raining. Fortunately not that hard, but I've just stopped now and changed all my gear and put my wet weather gear on, so hopefully that'll be better. I am getting a bit of a strange noise from the back of a bike. Don't know what it's like, a high-pitched whine. It doesn't do it when the clutch is in and freewheeling. It's only when it's under pressure, under power. So I'm not, was that coming from the drive, or I just don't know where it's coming from. I'm just a bit concerned about it, really. Yeah, I've heard it before, and I'm not exactly sure what it is. So I'm just going on and hoping for the best, really. Okay, I continue my journey heading west. Well, the weather's gone from bad to bloody worse. I'm now caught in a thunderstorm on the side of the motorway. It's actually eased off a little bit since I got here, but it was torrential just now. Anyway, I had a coffee, a couple of croissants, so I'm just going to battle on now and hope I ride out of this crap. So Provence, not far from Marseille, centre of France, centre of the south of France. Anyway, the weather's bloody awful. Probably the worst I've had so far. Can't see a thing out my visor, and the traffic is horrendously busy. So I'll press on. Well, my journey continues. I've ridden out the rain at last for the minute. But I am completely soaked through, and actually the water's gone right through everything. That's how hard the rain has been, and I've never had this like that before. I've never had the rain go through it. It's always been perfect, but I am now completely soaked. And my gloves are soaked as well. Traffic is just unbelievable. Yeah, it's manic. So I was going to Sète, but I'm not sure if I am now, whether I'm just going to continue on the way to it looks like it might be a French holiday again. There's loads of people on holiday. Okay, I'm off. So I'm an Indian in Montpellier, and I can't recommend this place highly enough because these guys are amazing. I've had a problem with the bike. It suddenly started to make a very strange noise a couple of days ago, and then today it got worse and worse and worse, to the point that I thought possibly a wheel bearing. But so I came here to Montpellier, and the guys did a test ride and then took it straight into the workshops, where they diagnosed it as being the belt being too tight and out of alignment. Not sure how that's happened, but anyway, they've very kindly taken it straight into the workshops and are rectifying that now. And I just wanted to show you this amazing shop because it is incredible. So let's have a look around it. So here's the entrance, and we walk straight in, and it's just massive. The staff here are super helpful. Got a little bar as you walk in through, and then you've got a massive great shop, which is just perfect. And if you walk down through the shop, all the bikes are all lined up. There's a massive range of clothing here. They do other bike makes as well. They've got a Kawasaki centre here, and then they've got all sorts of apparel, all manner of stuff here. Some great displays of bikes. I mean, they've got some Roadmasters. Just incredible shop, absolutely incredible shop. And then down the very bottom they've got all the workshops, which is where they're doing the work on my bike at the moment. And as I say, I can't praise these guys enough. They've been absolutely fantastic. Literally, as soon as I walked through the door, they were here to help me. And that says a lot for Indian dealerships. So I'm very, very happy with that. They do all the t-shirts and everything. Ladies collection, jackets. I mean, it's just massive. And then as you walk around the corner, they've got all the Zero bikes, second-hand bikes over the other side there. It just is absolutely amazing shop. Really, really happy with it. So if you're coming to Montpellier or you're near Montpellier, make sure you come and visit Indian Montpellier. Well, here I am, settled. I have to say, that was probably the most dramatic day of the trip so far. No, not probably. It was the most dramatic day of the trip so far. So, I have noticed my bike is lovely. Don't get me wrong, I love my bike. But last year when I was travelling through through the Pyrenees, I did notice on occasion when the bike was under a bit of strain, i.e. going up an incline, there was a bit of a strange noise from behind. Sort of like a grating, grinding kind of noise. But it only happened occasionally. And then you go on the flat and you'd beat down an Autoroute and you heard nothing. And I didn't think anything of it at all. And then I've been at home and I've been riding it on the flat, never under pressure, I have to say, because I don't ride that bike hard. People that know me vouch for that. I don't ride it hard at all. And so I've not really heard the noise. Occasionally, when I pull away from the traffic lights, if there's a bit of a race on, as you know it's like in Cornwall, a bit of a race sometimes from traffic lights, then I hear it, but not excessively. So coming through the Alps over the last week, I have started to hear this noise, this kind of grating, winding. It sounds like something catching. Initially, I thought it was the belt catching on the belt guard, that kind of noise. But then it would go again, and I thought, well, I don't know. Maybe it's just me. It's not. But now I'm thinking back to when I first heard this noise, and I had never heard the noise before. But when I had the back tyre changed, I had a Cobra, Avon Cobra type on the back, just before I went away last year. And it was after I had that wheel tyre fitted that I did notice on occasion, this noise. Anyway, during this trip, I have noticed it more and more and more and more. And then coming back from Monaco yesterday, I noticed it quite a lot. I couldn't pinpoint the sound anywhere because I was on the autoroutes. I was doing 110, 120 kilometres an hour, which is the speed limit. You've got to go that, otherwise you'll get killed. And with my helmet on, I couldn't determine whether it was coming from the rear of the bike, the centre of the bike, or the front of the bike. I had no idea at all. But it was there, but it wasn't too bad. But when I went uphill, it was noticeably more. I could hear it more. Today, when I left Nice, I started to hear it, and then I got on the autoroute, and I did 600 kilometres. Well, actually, I did 500 kilometres initially, and the noise got louder and louder and louder. And even though I was travelling at 120 kilometres per hour in the pouring rain, and let's face it, today was atrocious, horrendous. I was soaked through to the skin. The water was pouring straight through me. The traffic was horrendous. I just had to battle. I battled. And the noise got louder and louder and louder until I thought it was a wheel bearing. That's what I thought it was going to be. So I stopped a couple of times, well, I stopped loads of times. I stopped loads of times for the weather, but I stopped loads of times and tried to sort of think what, I looked underneath, I couldn't see anything, nothing seemed to be catching. So eventually I thought, no, I've got to take the bull by the horns here. I have got to go to an Indian dealership and have this looked at. And what was worrying me about that was, of course, was that 99% of my accommodation is booked in advance, and if I have to stop and step out a day for repair or whatever, all those B&Bs, Airbnbs are all going to collapse. And at this late stage, I'm going to get my money back. So I'm thinking, oh my God, what will I do? And more to the point is, what happens if it is a wheel bearing and, that might take a couple of days to get sorted, I don't know. Anyway, bull by horns, went to the Indian dealership at Montpellier. So off route, was going to Sète today. I wanted to go to Sète. I wanted to have one of the beautiful tarts that they sell, which is like an octopus tart. Beautiful. I was really looking forward to it. But anyway, I decided it was better to get the bike looked at. It was like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I thought, better to go and get the bike looked at than go eating a fancy tart and then having a major problem around 4 or 5 o'clock and nothing would be done. So rode to Montpellier, so about 40k off route. Found the dealership, no problem. Rode in there, incredible, just exactly where it's supposed to be. Went indoors, spoke to a couple of people in French who were kind of like, yeah, okay, we kind of know you've got an issue. And then this beautiful little girl came up and she spoke English and she was absolutely lovely darling. And so with my French and her explanations, we managed to explain to the guy what the problem could possibly be. Literally within 5 minutes of me arriving, he was on the bike and he took it out and did a test ride on it. He came back and he drove it straight through the workshops, straight through into the workshops, and then came back and said, we're working on the bike now, which was, incredible, incredible. I mean, how can you just ride in somewhere and get that done? I was absolutely amazed. So they worked on the bike. I went through and did all the paperwork, and I went through and saw the mechanic. The mechanic asked me if I'd had the wheel changed and if I'd had it changed by an Indian dealer. I said I had. He was like, okay. And I was suspecting something. Well, I didn't quite understand why he was asking me that. However, anyway, I then went and had a lovely coffee, courtesy of Indian Montpellier, and a good chat and a wander around the shop and did the video, which I've just put on. And then the mechanic came through and said that the issue was the belt, which I kind of had thought it might be the belt. I thought the belt was going. No, apparently the belt was too tight. Not only was it too tight, it was out of alignment. So it wasn't in alignment, which is why it was making the horrendous noise. So I don't know. Why would the belt be too tight? I have no idea. Anyway, these guys were fantastic. They worked on the bike for, I don't know, 3/4 of an hour while they sorted this out for me. Did it all. And then test rode it. Came back, said the bike's absolutely perfect. They charged me €42. €42, that's like nothing. That is just nothing, guys. That was just fantastic. So, the bike now is running perfect. If you're ever Indian riders in the area of Montpellier in southern France, get in there, check these guys out. They are just wonderful. I tell you what, I've always thought about riding in Indian and thinking, what does it mean being a member of the Indian Riders group, Indian Riders? What does it mean? You don't get any favours, you pay a fortune for a bike, you don't get nothing, you don't get any freebies or discounts. You get the odd ride out, a few like-minded people, but to be honest with you, that's all you get. But when you're on the road, when you're travelling, you're really travelling a long distance and you're travelling abroad, that Indian family, that is really, that's something, that is. And I'd like to think that what the French people have given to me can be, can be given in the UK to anybody that might pop into a garage, sorry, dealership in the UK. Because Indian today really, everything I've had to do with Indian, my membership of the IMRG, IMR, call it what you will, was just incredible, absolutely incredible. The service I received in Montpellier, in southern France, was absolutely outstanding. And if you're any doubt about buying a bike for touring around Europe, well, the Indian dealership won't let you down. And thank you to Indian Montpellier. You guys are absolutely fantastic. Thank you.